Hey everybody, Mike Steele here with BBQ Champs Academy. We are so glad to have everyone join us tonight, and we are looking for a great show tonight with Mr. Aaron Lesley with Texas Oil Dust, and certainly looking forward to a great show with him. Aaron is a super guy, one of the absolute top cooks there is in Texas and probably throughout the country. He does quite well, and we'll be able talking to him about his new role as a BBQ Pitmaster at a restaurant that he is working with, and also we'll be talking about his rubs and stuff, the Texas Oil Dust line. He's got some amazing rubs and injections. On top of that, we'll certainly talk to him about his travels in KCBS competition this year that he's been doing. So we're going to give everybody a few moments to come in and let it be known. We always like to welcome all of our guest tonight. We got Scott with us. Once again, thank you, buddy, for being here. Caitlin, thank you for being here. You're always around, and know we can always count on you. There he is, Mr. Steve. Steve, I got a chance to see you on the video this week when you was up there cooking with Lee, so congratulations. I know you had a top 5 call. I don't remember if it was in chicken or ribs, but congratulations, and glad to have you with us. I got Greg with us as well. Joel, appreciate you being here. Texas Oil Dust, best in the business. I tell you what, it's some awfully good stuff. There is no doubt. Rick, appreciate you being here, man, as always. Look who else we got here. Erica, appreciate you being here. Excited about the show with Aaron. Absolutely. Daniel, appreciate you being here. Mr. Big Jim Hudgens in the house. Bring on the barbecue. Yep, Jim, we're going to have to get you out in that queuing world. I know you do a lot of steak stuff. I don't know how much stuff you do in the barbecue world. Let's see, we got Brandon. Thank you for being here, Brandon. John, appreciate you. I know you're up there in beautiful Madison, Wisconsin. And we are looking forward to the show tonight as well. Man, we got people just steadily pouring in. Jerry, appreciate you being here. James, yes, I'll agree. Aaron is an absolute beast. Every time he shows up, you better bring your A game because he sure is bringing his. Chuck, appreciate you being here. Jason, thank you for joining us tonight. Bob, appreciate you being here all the way from Columbia. Steve, thank you for being here. And Jerry, appreciate you coming in tonight. Trust the Dust. Yeah, obviously we know who that is with Be Extreme. Mark, thank you for joining us tonight. Hector, thank you for being here. And Mr. Paul, appreciate you being here as well. We've got a great show lined up once again. If you missed the intro with Aaron Lesley, and going to have a good show tonight. If you have any questions for Aaron, not only about some of the things that he does in barbecue, if you got some barbecue questions, I'm sure he'll be glad to answer. But he's also got some great line of product with his rub and injections, Texas Oil Dust, and we will certainly talk to him about that. I know he's got a new product that he released. I think it was a sauce that he released here a few months ago. I certainly want to pick his brain about that. I have not tried it yet, but I heard it is very, very, very good. So, oh, goodness gracious. Hello from Tennessee. Thank you for being here, Mickey. Appreciate you being here. You know, we had another great weekend this past week. We had some of our cooks out cooking, our BBQ Champ Academy alumni. And once again, we did not have many people participating in our alumni that's giving us shout outs from the stage and posting how they did. We had 2 last week. We had 2 people this week. And the winner this week was Justin Turner. He was the only one that I caught that posted along with Jody Davis. So Justin was the winner. He had a score of 248.1, finished 3rd place at the SCA competition. And I wired him $50 today for giving us the shout out. We do appreciate it. We're going to decide what we're going to do. It seems like just not been a lot of participation in that this year like we've had in the past. And I'll make the decision here probably tomorrow and make the post in the board if we're going to cancel it. Just not a lot of people posting. It's very hard to keep up when I only got 2 people. And we really want to get this out to more and more people. So anyway, continue to go. Jerry says the sauce is absolutely wonderful. I can imagine anything that Aaron puts his hands on. I have never had anything bad that man makes. So I can imagine that sauce is going to be good as well. Danny, appreciate you being on here. Randy, thank you for being here, man. How are you doing today? Let's see. Mike, Sister Fire in the Hole Smoker here. Glad to have you here with us. There's Mr. Nathan. Nathan, I think you're going to be on the sideline. Yep, there it is. You fractured the elbow. I hate to hear that. get well soon, buddy, where you can get back out there and get after it. So, Bradley, thank you for being here. Post from Texas. Yeah, Texas oil dust all the way. Brian, tell Aaron he has to do the worm before he starts the interview. Yeah, I don't know if that's exactly going to happen, but, he's back there laughing right now. So, Papa Joe Grill and Supply in Hutto, Texas. Glad to have you guys here, Chuck and Vanessa. Appreciate you being here. There is the champ herself, Marissa Overson. Glad to have you with us tonight, Marissa. Appreciate you being here. I know you have been cooking lights out as always. It doesn't surprise me one bit. Let's see. Aaron Lesley makes amazing products and is even a better person. I tell you what, he is truly a great guy. I've used Texas Oil Dust for SCA competitions, and it did well. Yeah, I think you could put that stuff on a freaking Snicker, and it would do good. It's just that good stuff. So, oh, yeah, I don't want to see that. Yeah, I'm wondering also. Manny, thank you. Aloha from Maryland. Let's see, Scott, let's see what you got. Heading out to my first SCA event in a month on Sunday or Saturday. Well, Scott, good luck. I know you've always done very well. And Danny, Be Extreme, he is with us tonight as well. Look, we got 63 folks already on here. I don't want to hold this up much longer. I want to do one thing real quick. I want to thank these amazing sponsors, because without these guys, it'd be hard for us to do what we do. So I certainly do want to thank Danny with Be Extreme Barbecue. Thank you. We've also got B&B Charcoal. Appreciate all their support. Brian Crawford with Lone Star Barbecue Pro Shop and his awesome Crawford's barbecue pit products that he has. He has a great line of rubs and spritzes as well. Just got through mentioning Chuck and Vanessa with Papa Joe Grilling Supplies in Hutto, Texas. Certainly do appreciate them. They carry about every single rub that all of our barbecue pitmasters use, as well as Lone Star Barbecue Pro Shop. Also, we got Gunter Wilhelm. Mr. David has got some of the most awesome knives ever. I got a hold of these things a little over a year ago, and they are without a doubt one of the absolute best knives I have ever used, and they hold an edge as good or better than any knife I think that's on the market today. So if you're looking for a really good sharp knife, I recommend the Gunter Wilhelm Lightning Pro Cut series. I absolutely love those knives. Also, we've got a Tapaque, and also the barbecue store, Mr. Dustin Stanley down in Hempstead, Texas. I tell you what, Dustin's a big supporter of our show as well, and I know he carries a lot of the products, including the Texas Oil Dust as well. I do know he carries that because I've ordered it from him in the past. So, but we appreciate Dustin of the barbecue store as well. So, without further ado, we're going to get ready to bring in the man himself. See if I got one or two more people that's popped in here. Let's see. You can put it on James Dawson socks and make them taste good. Oh, goodness. That's, yeah, probably so. I don't know if I'd want to be tasting anything that James had his foot in, but I understand. We got Lucas here all the way from Australia. Good morning, Lucas. Thank you so much for joining us. Look at here. We got Mr. John Lindsay in the house. Looking forward to another great show. Thank you, John, for being here, man. Got Mary. Thank you for being here. Another one from Wisconsin. And we just got folks just steadily coming in. We appreciate everybody. James, yeah, them socks. I'm telling you right now. Anyway, let's bring the man in himself, Mr. Aaron Lesley. Come on in, buddy. Let me get you in this show. How you doing, man?
Doing good, man. Doing good. There's a lot of good comments out there.
I'm telling you, you got quite a bit. What's this worm dance I hear about?
Man, I tell you what, I've been known to get jiggy with it at when a good call comes in. I think it kind of started at Wharton when I hit that first place chicken. I might have done a sidestep or two, a little spin, but excitement, alcohol, it just all kind of plays itself in a part. So
yeah, sometimes
I'm not break dancing anybody, but
you know what? I like to see people that get excited to get a call. I sometimes just look at somebody, they just care less they even got a call. So I just think excitement breeds excitement. And I don't know, I always think of Jason, man. He's always the woo! He's always having fun. So, and I think that
That Warden deal was pretty good because they only gave away 4 first place trophies. I took home 2 of them, so I was pretty excited.
Yeah, that's a pretty good deal right there. You ain't kidding.
I got,
So
got a little dance on there. I didn't even realize it won state, but
yeah,
we were all celebrating just a happy day. So
absolutely. You know what? When you get them big first place calls, it is great because the competition world today is absolutely just unbelievable. So
it's tough. It's tough. It's every year it gets more. It gets harder every year. There's just not. It's not a slackers. You know, you just walk in and just kind of take it. Unless you're Kit Polk, you can just show up anywhere and just win. But not everybody's as lucky as he is. But you know, honestly, it's tough. It's harder every day. You go out there, somebody else comes up with some new little twist, and it just rips it for a while. So it's hard to get that.
Yeah, absolutely. I just think the thing is just try to find that recipe that's consistent. You know, at least if you can get consistent top 5 calls, it may not get you first place all the time, but it usually gets you some money. Don't you agree?
That's right.
Do you try to swing for first place? Do you try to I want to knock it out of the park, or do you try to cook to where, you know, I think I've got a good top 5 product?
You know, probably with 85,000 miles on my trucks, 3 years, probably 100 contests. If you go for first place every time, you're probably not going to get it. First place comes from just constant routine barbecue. It comes from being on top of it, watching everything, being consistent. And then when you do all of that, it all falls in place, and today is your day, then that's when it's going to happen. But if you're swinging for the fence, you're probably going to overdo something or make something stand out too much. I'm not saying it won't happen, you know, because there's those guys who go out there just would put everything they know into it and they get a first place call. But if you cook consistently 20, 30, 40 times a year, you're just going for 3rd to 7th. If you can get 3rd to 7th, then you're in a happy ballpark. So I want first place, believe me. But there's nothing more nerve-wracking than any cook can sit there in a chair and it's second place, and you look around and they call second place, it's not you, and there's still 60 or 80 cooks sitting there in their chair that haven't got up. Yeah. And then your heart drops. You're just like, oh, man.
Come on now. Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they hit, and then you just sit there in your chair and you just kind of, no, it ain't me. Are you kidding me? And then you know, so it's a great feeling. At the same time, sometimes I'd rather have second place than I would first because I know my number got called. Yeah. It's hard to say that, but that's what feeling goes through your head sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, sometimes you got that meat, you know it's really good, and, you know, you haven't heard your number yet, and they're in the top 5, and, like, you know, I'm usually pretty good. I know where my brisket. I mean, my brisket is one of my most consistent ones, and I ain't got a top 5 yet, and I'm like, man, that brisket was good, you know. And then they're in 3rd place, and like hadn't been called yet. Like, man, I'm sure that brisket was a top 3, you know. So sometimes you just got that feeling, and then, you know, and all of a sudden, I hit second in a competition here not too long ago, and I was like, man, I knew that brisket was good, so come on now, so. But it's just part of it. You just got.
If you're sitting there and you know you just know in your heart that brisket or chicken or ribs was just money. I mean, you felt it. Everything was perfect. It was right there where you want it to be. It was just like it should be. And then first place comes around, and you look around, and you're like, oh man, you know, who has not got up yet? And there's like 4 or 5 top-notch cooks that are just sitting right around you, and you're just happy for them. So. You don't get that's okay. I got 11th. That's what I'll tell you. That's what we all tell everybody, right? Yeah. If I don't get it, I get 11th. So you hope for the best, but
that's it. Oh goodness! Well, I tell you what. If anybody's got any questions for Aaron, please let us know. And Nakia popped in here. I love companies that have the complete line, and Aaron Lesley has all you need to create a great product. I'm so glad to know him and call him my friend. Yep. I tell you what. He is truly a great guy. I think I got a chance
awesome, man.
Yep.
The key is the cool cat.
Yep, absolutely. I think I got to meet you probably for the first time to spend some actual time with you in Benbrook last year.
Yes, sir.
Well, no, was it last? No, it was the year before.
2 years ago.
It was 2 years ago because they didn't have it was in 19. That was the first chance. We was out in the parking lot, and I got a chance to hang out. We went and grabbed something. I remember we went and ate a little burger afterwards, and just all around, man, you're just a great guy. And I tell you what.
Matter of fact, that's the day you got my 10X steak seasoning.
Yep. Yep, you had a little steak season. It was a little prototype that you was
Little
making up.
prototype in there, and you got some, and
Yep.
gave you a small bottle to play with.
Yep, little bottle. And I'll tell you what, first thing I said, man, this tastes like steakhouse rub. I mean, it is really, really good. There is no doubt. So, oh, goodness gracious. Well, I'll tell you what, if anybody's got questions for you, let's certainly have anybody ask. So I'll be looking for them. Let's see. Thanks for the amazing product, Aaron. Enjoy each and every one of them. CM Payne. Let's see. Ron, tell us about your class. Let's see. Tell us about this class you're about to give in Weatherford. So you got a class that you're going to be doing?
Yes, sir. So not very many people know this, but and I was kind of waiting to make the announcement. But after a few bucket list hits this year, I decided that once I hit my bucket list and it was official, then I'd give a couple of barbecue classes. And people have been asking me for a while. You know, it's been about 5 years, 6 years now, and you know, trying to spread the word and show another aspect of people. I use all of my own products. There's only a few products that I do use that are not mine. And you know, and sauces is the key to that. There's some off the shelf stuff that we mix in with injections and little things like that. But the class itself, Stephen Powell, Ugly Drum Smokers, Texas. We're going to have a barbecue class, 4 meats. So it'll be like the CBA. The same recipes will work for KCBS, CBA, IBCA, Lone Star. I'm not going to change my flavor profiles, and so hopefully that's the way I cook, and it's going to work. Maybe just a little sauce here and there, you know, tweaking that a little bit. But we use Texas Wizard, obviously, in some of our sauces, chicken and ribs. And so, you know, that's one of the products that I do. I'll have that at my class as well. I talked to Vince, and he's going to get me taken care of, be giving some of that away. But we'll have a barbecue class, 4 meats, be a nice little tell-all class. You know, from drum smoking to, you know, to offset smokers. I'm a regiment. I do both. And so we want to bring that out there and tell people about what we do, how we make things happen, fire baskets, woods, you know, lumps, that kind of thing. So we're gonna do the basic Texas style recipes, you know, half chicken and you know, it's you know, the ribs, pork, and brisket. Gonna tell you what I do, show you what I use, and we're gonna have a great time. So there's 30 seats. It's about halfway full right now. People are, you know, messaging in every day, and they're putting their name on the list and they're paying up. So there's not very much more time on there if you're looking for a good barbecue class. And for $500, we dropped it down. Times are tough. People are having a hard time. Right. You know, it costs a lot of money for what we do and for the recipes and to be consistent. But at the same time, I have a business, and that business needs to teach, and we want to teach you the way we do things, and hopefully help our products enter your cooking atmosphere to where it takes your toolbox to another level.
There you go. There you go. Let's see. Do you glaze your ribs or dust them? Somebody asked. John asked that.
Ribs or dust them?
Yeah, John asked the question.
Class, and I'll tell you.
Oh, let's see.
I sauce my ribs.
You do sauce your ribs. Okay. Aaron gets some time and Weatherford. Let's see. Somebody wanted to know
you going to the Danbo, baby. That's right.
You going to the Watermelon Festival?
No, sir. That's this weekend, right?
Yeah, this weekend.
Yeah. No. Unfortunately, my grandmother passed away, and this week, and I'm going to. We're going to have services for Friday and Saturday. So this will be my 5th week not to cook. After I won New Mexico state championship, I took a few weeks off. A few weeks has turned into 5. So I'll be ready to get back out on the trail when this is over with. But
yeah, I'm sorry to hear about your grandmother, man.
That's all right. 92, man. She's had a great life.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, my grandmother was 93 years old when she passed away. And, you know, it's just something about that. When they're at that age, you know, they lived a good life, right? And, man, I tell you right now, it's it just makes it seem like it's never easy, but it's just a little easier knowing that it wasn't somebody that was young or, you know, tragic. It kind of gives you a little time to prepare. So,
that's right.
Anyway, well, tell me a little bit now about your venture off into KCBS. I know you was in the top 10 in the points in IBCA in back-to-back years. I think you finished second one year, and you came right back the next
Sixth,
year.
I think.
I think you finished sixth.
Yeah.
So
that was a hard year. 20 was a hard year because there wasn't that many cook-offs. So a lot of us had to travel to KCBS. I mean, we SCA. I did probably 6 or 8 SCAs, and then KCBS was another avenue that we could take if they were having a cook-off. We started doing Oklahoma, we started doing Missouri, started doing Kansas, back to Oklahoma, then we went to Wyoming. So we started putting some miles on the vehicles and having a great time and learning. Because I think I've done. I think I was telling the guys this weekend. I think I did my 13th KCBS, and I'm pretty sure that the last 7 were in the last probably 10 months. So I started kind of getting the hang of it, and then Texas barbecue kind of picked back up, and we haven't been to as many KCBS, but that's my goal, is to try to stretch and strive to get into the KCBS world little by little. You just have to pick and choose where you go.
Right.
Obviously, you have to work.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what. So tell me what your thoughts are, your likes, your dislikes. Is there any likes, any dislikes? Let me just rephrase it that way. Of doing the KCBS, do you like it? I mean, you've jumped in it. You've got 13. I mean,
yeah, I love it. There's nothing like your first grand champion in a sanctioning body. When I first started, it was IBCA and Lone Star. I didn't really know the difference, but Lone Star was out here in West Texas. There was a few Lone Star events more, and then we went to some IBCA. So obviously, that first grand champion that you're going to get in IBCA or Lone Star or KCBS, that's a bucket list.
Right.
That's something that you really want to strive for. There's a lot of guys out there trying to get that. I love KCBS because I haven't hit that yet, but I have had 180s. I have had some first place calls, and I really want to get into that venture because KCBS has a creativity level that nobody else has. CBA has that same thing, but you can do chicken legs or do thighs. You can do wings. You do some white meat. You can pick and choose what chicken goes in a box. You can pick and choose how you do your ribs. But pork, you can be creative with pork. You know what's going to get you paid. What's hopefully going to get those top 10 walks. But you can be creative with that. Brisket the same way, doing burn-ins, and so there's a lot of things that I want to learn to be a better cook, and that's why I want to hit those KCBS trails. And get out there. I mean, the only way you're going to learn to be a better cook is to go and leave your comfort zone and to go cook.
Get out there.
You've got to get out and go do that, or you're not going to be a cook that's well rounded. You're just going to be in that one little center, and you can be in your hometown within 200 miles and bang it up and be one of the best there is out there. But until you get out there and experience some things, you just won't know what else is there. There's other flavors involved and other things to tweak. So. I love KCBS. I like everything about it. The people are great. I can't complain about it. I love the camaraderie and the atmosphere when you go to a 70, 80 team cook and everybody in KCBS is all outside. They're all hanging out. They're doing a thing just like the Texas barbecue societies. It's just a different feeling because there's a lot of guys you will never see. There are a lot of guys not going to come to Texas to cook. So you get to get out there and meet other cooks, other people. And that's been a stretch for me to go and to meet those guys and to kind of get out of my comfort zone and my shell. So once you get into it, I think you get kind of relaxed and you're able to go enjoy yourself more. To me, I'm still on pins and needles a little bit. So but I do enjoy it.
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, Lee, I talk to Lee probably every day, and he's running all over the East Coast, and I'm up here, and then I'm down here in West Virginia, and I'm taking off to North Carolina, and he's finding out, there's just the flavor profiles are a little different everywhere, and he's not staying in one area, he's just going everywhere, and that makes it even harder. So, but he is getting a lot of knowledge. So, and it's like you said, it's that comfort of continuing to cook, getting used to it, finding out what works, finding out what doesn't work. He cooked one chicken down on the East Coast, did really good. He went up north, went up to the Chicago area, got hammered, went right back down to the East Coast where he was. He cooked there here not too long ago, had a third place chicken this weekend. So he's finding out what's working and what's not. But he said, man, it is a lot of work. So
you will find out where your areas are. What's a drum country? What's offset country? Pellet grills. The more people I talk to, the more they give me advice. Don't go up there to drums, or don't go up there with your offset. That's not offset country. I mean, I think good barbecue still stands out as good barbecue. I think there's ways to use drums to tone it down so that you don't have as much of that flavor on there as you would if you were to be just wide open, just putting the roll in the smoke and the juices. So I think that's what sucks is that there's not that many in this area, especially the state of Texas. So if we're going to travel, we're going to be at least 8 to 10 hours, sometimes 5 or 6, but mostly 8 to 10 hours on the low end, and you only get one shot. So creating that schedule that puts you on those doubles, that way you get 2 shots. I know it's double the cost, but you get 2 shots and you get more bang for your buck. So if I can do doubles, I'll do doubles all day long. And that's all I really want to do. But if that's all that's available as a single, then I'll drive it. But I mean, it's just because you want to go and experience it. The payback might not be as good sometimes, but all you can do is keep practicing, and you'll become a top hitter.
Yeah, you got it. Do you cook on drums mostly, Aaron, or are you still using your Jambo?
I use a Jambo and drums. I incorporate both cooking mechanisms in my regimen.
In your regimen. Okay.
Everything I cook is touched with the drum, and it ends up on the offset.
Yeah. So you can kiss it, give it a little bit of that drum flavor, and then transfer it over. Yeah, man. Does it take long? Like on a brisket, is an hour long enough on a drum to kind of impart a little bit of that flavor, and then it is okay.
Yeah. I mean, that drum it's gonna, no matter what touches that meat, whether it's burnt barbecue sauce, honey, on ribs or butter, whatever it is, the drippings, it gives you that off-putting flavor. So whatever you put on that drum, it's going to instantaneously give you that, just like they get that lighter fluid flavor. You may have only started your pit with lighter fluid for 10 or 15 minutes, but people can say, hey, it still has that same flavor. So it doesn't take much to give you that uniqueness to it. And if you run your program right, you can put just a little bit of that and a little bit of this, and then you can have yourself a really nice rounded overall profile. I've been running it since 19. When we were number 2 in IBCA, I started doing it about halfway through the year, and it really paid off. So it gives you a roundness that not everybody's doing. So it's something just a little bit different that makes it stand out.
Yeah, that's good. It's good advice. There's your pro tip right there. So look who we have in the house. Wrong one. Try that again.
Hey, Vince.
Hey, Vince, how you doing, buddy? I hope you're getting that Texas Wizard rolled out. So I've still got about 6 or 7 bottles of that stuff. I hadn't used it in a while, but I got it. I've kind of, sometimes I'll switch, but a long time ago I was using a lot of that, and I stocked up on it when I knew he was getting low. So that's some good stuff, no doubt. Yep, he says very soon he'll have it ready. Good. Let's see. So what's your favorite meat to cook in a comp? Bradley wants to know.
I mean, I always pride myself in being a brisket cook. But at the end of the day, I'm probably my best meat is ribs. I mean, if you look on my wall isn't put up, but if you look at what I've got more first place brisket trophies than I probably do chicken trophies. But at the same time, my ribs probably stand out just as much. Yeah. So at the end, I love cooking my briskets. I mean, that's I call it the moneymaker. Hashtag moneymaker. I've got shirts being made with moneymaker. That is my favorite meat to cook. You can throw the rest of it in the trash and just give me the brisket because that's what I want to cook. I don't know what it is about it, but at the end of the 6-hour period, I'm hoping it's going to turn out right. But that's what I want to. That's what I want to strive in the best, is being one of the top brisket cooks there is. I've got a little ways to go, but that's my favorite meat.
Yeah, that's mine. And like you, that's my money maker. Usually, if I can get the first 2 even close to the finish line, man, my brisket always usually has a tendency of pulling me out. So I
can't complain. I cook one of the best ones there is. So I'm super excited to put that on the pit. So I mean,
yeah. And you do what briskets are you cooking now?
I cook nothing but Midland Meat Company.
There you go. I was going to give you that chance and talk a little bit about that. So, what's your opinion on grade of meat that you buy for comps?
And the more marbling, the better. Not necessarily the biggest briskets because they don't always. Sometimes bigger briskets do take longer to cook. Sometimes they're not quite as tender. I like a good medium 18 to 20 pound brisket. Time I trim it up, I'm going to have about 7-8 pounds tops. And the more marbling I can get in that brisket, the better off I'm going to be. You can take a little bit longer. You can give yourself a little bit more tenderness. You can take it just a little bit further on the pit wise, and if you mess up, it's pretty forgiving because you can do certain tricks to get that thing to tighten back up a little bit to put it in the box. But the redder it is, the harder it's going to be, and there's nothing better than a nice red, white candy cane striped brisket when you pull it out of the package and you pull that fat layer back a little bit. It's like a Cracker Jack box, that little prize on the inside. So
right.
That the more marbling, the better. It doesn't matter who it's from. If as long as you pick for that marbling, you're gonna be in good shape.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, he must have heard me going, woo! There's the man himself. Hey, Jason, how you doing? Glad to have you with us, buddy. So, let's see. Morgan, I know he's a steak cooker. He says, do you cook your briskets fat up or fat down in the drum?
Always fat side down. My grandfather taught me when I was a kid, fat side down. This is West Texas, so we don't have that Central Texas, kind of big barbecue community that everybody does there. So we've always cooked on fat side down. On the drum, I want that fat to protect that brisket because we're probably the more experienced cook you are, probably the hotter you're going to cook because you know how far and how long you can take it to get away with that temperature line. But I want that fat to protect that brisket. Even on the offset smoker, on the Jambo, it doesn't matter. It's always fat side down. It's never the opposite for me.
Yep. That's good. All right. So, question: do you do burn-ins for your comps in KCBS? Have you played around with that? I was told by
a wise man about 2 years ago to quit putting them in the box until you start hitting those first place briskets with those slices.
Yeah.
Fred Robles told me one day, if you don't get your slices down and you start making your box continuously, just hitting those top 10 calls or even 11 to 15. If you can't get your slices to win, what makes you think a burn-in is going to do the same thing?
That's exactly right.
Last October, I quit doing burn-ins, trying for burn-ins, and I started focusing on slices and tweaking my brisket recipe for KCBS a little bit every time until I could get in that top 10 and then finally get that first place lick. So, and I nailed that in Nevada when I went 2 months ago for the auto and there in Nevada. So I finally hit that first place brisket and it was good, but I got a long ways to go before I can start doing burn-ins.
Yeah. Nathan, Midland Meat Company going to offer shipping in the future. Go on and tell us about that because I was asking you about that.
Midland Meat Company's been shipping for quite a few years now. All you have to do is place your order at the store and tell them you'd like to have it shipped, and then they will talk to you about shipping directions. They ship mainly two ways. They do it by air. Southwest Airlines can ship it to any airport that you're near. You can have a brisket from Midland to New York in 5 or 6 hours. You can also do it overnight with FedEx, and they have all of that there. If you're looking for meat and you're looking for for competition quality meat or just for the house, John and Adrian there at the store can get you fixed up and ship that thing to you. Obviously, you're going to pay shipping charges, but you don't have to be here to buy it. They'll pick you up what you're looking for and they'll ship it to you.
Yeah, awesome product, no doubt. I have not had a chance to cook one yet, but I've certainly have been thinking about it. So, sure sounds like it's a great brisket. I know a lot of people are doing really, really well with that. All right, so let's go into the restaurant. I know that you tell us the story behind that. I know that's a venture that you was kind of looking into, I think, probably 4 or 5 months ago, really was kind of getting everything in and was like, what's going on? Is this his restaurant? And I thought at first it was yours, and we kind of had a little chat the other day. So tell us the story behind who owns the restaurant, what your role is, and all that. I think a lot of people would like to know.
Well, so a lot of people, they don't really know what I do. They just know that I have Texas Oil Dust, and I've heard people make comments that, I really don't know what Aaron Lesley does, but I know he does something at the store. He's at the warehouse. He's picking meat, helping separate, do whatever. So I've always had, since 2012, I've had a catering company. 14, 15, I bought the porch trailer that I have now with the Jambo in the back of it. And we catered and we vended barbecue a little bit here and there, city functions, downtown. In 17 and 18, I was catering on my 2 weeks off. I was superintendent for Apache at the out doing drilling rigs. And so during that time, on my time off, I would cater for anything that I get my hands on. 2018, when I retired, I laid it up, hung the hard hat up, cashed everything in, and bought land. That song says I bought dirt, and that's more powerful than the bank and the stock market. So I cashed it all in, and we've been cooking ever since. John and I got together. I became his full-time catering for barbecue steaks, that kind of thing. Done a lot of high-end caterings, and in 2019, a spot came open, an outdoor area, seated about 80 to 100 people max, and it was a small restaurant, had a small commercial kitchen, commercial bathrooms. Parked my food trailer next to it, and we started slinging barbecue, burgers, salads, and chicken, everything from the store. But it gave us a permanent location to allow people to sit down, a little BYOB, and just have a great outdoor atmosphere. That kept us going through COVID. We had outdoor, didn't have to follow the rules. We still gave everybody 50% capacity, and we kept everybody moving. But opportunity came about that we can move from an outdoor area to an indoor facility. And John purchased, because John owns the half acre. That's a subsidiary of Midland Meat Company. And John and I talked, and we've always been friends. One of the best guys I can ever ask to be on my side. And I went on board with him without even flinching, and I'm the pitmaster at Midland Meat Company. Excuse me, at the half acre.
Right.
So I cook we cook all the barbecue. We got a crew of 5 or 6 in there. Our menu isn't just barbecue. We've got burgers and wings and salads. We do street tacos. We've got just a whole chef culinary experience that you can ask for. We got great guys, Chef Johnny and Josh. My daughters both work up there. The food itself is a little bit of everything, and then we do high-end caterings. We do a lot of people. So I get to cook barbecue 5 days a week, compete on the weekends, take Sundays off, drive home, go back up to the restaurant, and start all over Sunday night. So I cook a lot of Midland Meat Company briskets. I can tell you one from a picture, and I can tell you one from the back of my hand, what they look like, and if someone's pulling the strings on one or not. So. But that's what we do. I cook barbecue day in and day out, and I don't work a day in my life. I'm having one of the best times that I could ever ask for, and I don't stress about it. It's just
just go cook, do what you love doing, right?
That's it. A lot of people, I get to make people happy, and that's what I enjoy. So
yeah, tell them about the select briskets y'all are serving. Ha ha.
Select briskets, yeah.
Ain't no select brisket. I asked him, so y'all cooking a good prime? He was like, no. Go on and tell them what you're cooking.
So since we've opened up until 3 weeks ago, we've been cooking nothing but Wagyu beef. We don't cook anything but Wagyu beef. Beef ribs, beef short ribs, boneless beef ribs, beef backs. Hamburger patties, the briskets are Wagyu. Everything that you would call and say, hey, I need a 20-pound brisket. Well, guess what? I probably got 15 on the pit for tomorrow. So, that's all we were cooking. But now John has the Angus Hereford line. It's not Angus. It's got a little bit different flavor. It's really got that good Texas beef flavor from an Angus brisket. That Hereford comes in. And I'm just going to say that the flavor profile on that brisket is top notch, moist, juicy, and the marbling on it. There's not a whole lot of difference. It really is just a high-end prime brisket that you're going to get, but the flavor is just going to be outstanding. So
yeah, wow.
I cooked one. He got one head, brought it in, had 2 briskets, and said, hey, I'd like to cook one of these at the restaurant. Let's try it out. Let's run the same profile. Let's see what we do. We don't inject. We don't run any kind of competition flavors. It's the seasonings that I sell. We butcher paper wrap. We cook them on 2 old hickory rotisseries and an Oiler 1300. So it's all wood burning pits. We try to keep everything as natural as we can.
Right.
But I took one brisket to a competition, didn't tell anybody, and I took one, and we had one there at the restaurant, and I think it was 49 cooks. I think I turned out a fourth place brisket, and I didn't even change nothing. I just kept cooking it. So, at the end of the day, it's just top notch beef, and so that's what we'll be selling here pretty quick all the time is that Angus Hereford mix. Okay,
so Hector wants to know: do you recommend that over his Wagyu for comps, or do you still like to do the Wagyu?
That's going to be a tough decision because
hey, fourth place right off the get go out of 49 teams. That's pretty dang.
It's pretty strong.
That's pretty strong. So I think,
and I'll tell you what beat me. It was two of John's first and second place for both of his Wagyu briskets. So to be right there in that profile, I would say yes. I will probably lean towards the Texas side of things, going towards the Angus Hereford mix. And then, KCBS in bigger comps, probably pushing that Wagyu. But I think things are going to be making a circle, to be honest with you. Everybody's moved to that Angus, that Wagyu cross for the last 3 years. Yeah. They've been making this big circle and this transition over. And eventually you're going to flood the judges' tables with that Wagyu flavor. It's rich. It's not as beefy, but it's really rich and it's soft and it's tender. But then all of a sudden, that big bang, that big Angus is going to come in there and it's going to dominate the table because that flavor is what everybody's used to. So, it might be a pick and choose kind of thing, but as soon as he starts rolling them in, I'll be bumping those
Angus.
Angus quite a bit.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. I'll tell you what, you got quite a story, Aaron, and you're obviously an awesome cook. There is no doubt about that. So now you're just even more deadly because you get to cook barbecue 5 days a week. So let me just ask you a question. Are you sliding a little competition trim brisket in there every once in a while to try a little flavor profile here and there?
No, but I don't waste the briskets at the restaurant.
Okay.
We're limited on what we can cook sometimes because we do have to divide what we have between the Midland Meat Company store and the restaurant. So sometimes it's a race and who can get there first kind of thing to the restaurant. Adrian usually beats me. But what I do practice on is ribs. Yeah. When I have a rib profile that I think I want to try something different, I will slide a competition rack of ribs in there and cook them on the old hickory. It's not going to be the same exact flavor with smoke and stuff. Right. But I'm going to slide it in there and try something new. But I don't practice at home. Yeah. Hands down, I don't practice at home. I've only practiced one time. I think it was like in January, and that's the first time I've done it probably in a year. Right. If I try something new, it's at comp day on the brisket, and I turn that meat in.
Yeah, that's the same thing I do. People are like, you practice? Nope. I go to a competition. I rolled out a new brisket recipe.
I have an idea on pork, brisket, chicken. I'm going to change my profile and I'm going to run it at that comp. And if I don't do very good, it's okay. Not a big deal. It was a lesson to me. But if I think a new flavor can be brought out there, which I have, and it's paid off quite a bit, I have cooks come in and say, hey, why are you changing it? What are you doing? Why are you doing that? Well, because if I don't practice and I don't change my profiles, then I can't be a better cook and I can't produce better products.
Right. That's true. Bill Purvis is in the house. Did someone say ribs?
I did.
That's it. How long have you been doing competitions, and how long did it take you to hit your first GC?
So I dabbled in 13 with like one comp. I dabbled in 14 just with the family. I had no idea what I was doing. 14, I did a couple with the family at just a couple of like music festivals or something. But 2015, I did 8 comps. And it probably took me 14 or 15 competitions to hit my first grand champion. And then after that, it was probably a few months, and I hit my next one. That was a state championship with about 80 teams, 79 teams. And then shortly after that, I hit another one. And then it just kind of started rolling. So it just because I was starting to figure out a flavor, didn't change nothing, the flavor of that area. And it was kind of on. So it probably – the first 25 comps, I think I had, 3 grand championships, and maybe a couple of reserves. But you know, I mean, it was just I found a niche and you know, I went for it. Then I kind of got obsessed, and I haven't changed since.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about this Texas oil dust. You've got some absolutely amazing injections. You've got some amazing rubs. So you wanna talk a little bit about those, and then I want to talk about your newest product, which I know is a sauce for brisket, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I mean, I've got this Brandon oil here. Where's my camera? So I've got this Brandon oil here. It's a thin sauce. So the last time you and I talked, I think it was last winter, probably November, December. Mm-hmm. I'm not for sure which month it was, but I know it's cold out here. I think we had a good freeze. You know, that sauce, it just came out like probably just within a week or two of talking to you or right after. But it's the sauce that I made for my barbecue trailer. And then at the restaurant, and it was paired for barbecue sandwiches. That's why I made it. I didn't make it for chicken and ribs. Even though people have different taste buds, they like it on different meats, and I like it on chicken. I like it on ribs and poppers and all that stuff. But this sauce was thin because when you have a thick sauce, you have to use more of it. And so when you use more of it, it takes more to cover a sandwich, or it takes more to cover a brisket or a rack of ribs. And so then you have to thin it down, right? So most top cooks thin their barbecue sauces down with something: water, peach juice, apple juice, something. So why give them something I have to thin down and buy something else when I can just give it to them already thinned out?
There you
so
go.
That's what I did. And this is our brisket sauce. I don't have stats in my head that most guys would keep written down, but I can say that since we've been using this sauce, me, Paul, Tommy, Chuck, out here in West Texas especially, and then there's a lot of other guys that have been using it. I would say we haven't been out of the top 10 in probably a year in Texas barbecue. KCBS is different. That's a whole different game. But that sauce right there has put us in the top 10, 15 almost every time if you're calling out that kind of stuff. 115.
Right.
It's that sauce is real thin, so you just put it on, spread it nice and easy, let it sit. Sometimes I'll do it twice if I got a little room. The more times you set it, the sweeter it gets, and it pops. But yeah, it's been a huge success in my game, and a lot of guys are starting to try it, and they're having the same result. So,
Candace wants to know: is it thin? Is it thin like the consistency of a mopping sauce, or is it just flows thin?
Yeah, so it's thin like a mopping sauce, but if you pick this bottle up, the pepper still floats.
Okay.
The pepper does not settle on the bottom. So if I was to pick this up, there's a little pepper on the bottom, but there's pepper suspended all the way through. So it's this thick enough to suspend pepper, but it's not thin enough for everything to fall on the bottom of the bottle.
That's awesome.
And it's more like kind of a mopping sauce. When I first got it, I strained it. I took all the pep out of it, and I took it to a contest in somewhere around East Texas, and I hit like a second place, third place chicken. So let me just try it, see what happens, and ribs the same way. I mean, it's just a thinner sauce that you don't have to worry about messing with. It's a flavor profile. It's kind of beefy, a little sweet, but once it gets on that brisket, it mellows with what you're missing. So if you have a really salty brisket, it's going to tone that salt down, bring out some garlic and some onion. If you've got a kind of an oniony, kind of a heavy garlic brisket, it's going to tone that out a little bit, bring the other flavors up. So it's going to kind of give you what you don't have, at the same time cover what's too much. It's a little weird how to explain it, but that's kind of the best I can really tell you.
Right. Well, tell me a little bit more about your rubs. I know the Barnyard Pimp. I saw somebody posting that just a minute ago. Awesome. Yeah. I've used it in the past. Barnyard Pimp, Texas Oil Dust. Yeah, bring them up one by one if you want to. If you want to talk a little bit about them.
We got the Black Gold. It's our brisket rub.
That's your brisket rub.
Pecan flavoring. But when you taste this, that pecan is not a sweet pecan. It just got a good flavor to the backside of it. But that pepper is going to come out and it's going to hit you in the mouth. And that pepper is going to be spicy. And it's going to give that brisket a nice, good, peppery pop. It's going to give you that savory kick, and we use it in our profile. Number one rub I got is still always going to my oil dust.
Okay.
Put this stuff on everything. If you got something that tastes bad, make it taste good. Put this oil dust on it. It doesn't matter what you got. Base layer on everything that we do. It goes in a lot of things, and people that come to the class, they're going to find out what all you can use this for, because it's a jack of all trades.
Right.
Barnyard Pimp, this chicken rub here has been it's been outstanding ever since. Salty, sweet, a little bit of heat, and everything you get out of it is going to be just money. So great for chicken, great for briskets, great for pork. You're not gonna fail by using it. There's just a lot of great rubs out there, and it's just one of the ones that I think is going to be, it's kind of a top seller. My piggy bank, it's people don't use it as much as they think that they can, but it's a smoky sweet, not real sweet because there's a lot of sugars being added to ribs these days. But it's going to have that chipotle heat to it. It's going to really carry out through the rib. It's going to kind of make it pop. And my favorite one is this, besides my Old Dust, and that's my Wildcatter. That Wildcatter is a smooth, garlicky, savory rub. And I'm telling you, this stuff right here goes on everything. You can pour it on heavy and it's still going to kick some ass. It's not going to be something that is used lightly. You're going to want to really put it on there because it's going to carry itself through there. We use this on a lot of our proteins as well.
Okay.
But the newest one I got is right here, man. Let's see if I can see it real quick. Hold on.
Yeah, hold it up there. Okay.
Where's it at?
There we go. Bullseye beef marinade. Oh, a beef marinade. Okay.
Yeah. If anybody, and I know you have your own videos, but if anybody's watched my steak video on the Barbecue League, they see me marinate my steaks. I've been marinating my steaks for 2.5 years. Last October, COVID was kind of coming back, and things were kind of moving. And I started working on the powdered form of my liquid marinade. And you can lick this, and it's just money. You can taste this, use it as a dry brine. You can sprinkle it on your steaks, on your tri-tips, chuck roast, whatever you want to put on there. You can season it with it like that, or you can turn around and rinse it off. You can also use as a liquid marinade, a couple of tablespoons of this and about 14, 16 ounces of beef broth or consomme. And you're going to make yourself one heck of a steak marinade. We'll leave this in there for 3-4 hours for a steak comp. Right now, people ask me what's in it, and I just tell them they got to buy it to find out. But when those big steak calls that we've gotten in the past is because I marinate my steaks in this for at least 4 to 6 hours, and just take it to the top. Good. Thicker the steak, the longer you need to let it rest. But I've got some cases. I'm going to be passing this out to some people, letting them try it. It's just going to be a big hit, and I've been mixing it quite a few years, but we finally got it to where we're ready to send it out and give it to the world.
Yeah, well, that's awesome. That is awesome. And you got some injections too. Your cluck cutter.
Yes. Where are they at? So, yeah, we've got this. We got the key to that money maker, that Calcutta.
Yeah.
This right here is hands down my favorite injection. It's going to have a little bit of everything: onion, garlic. It's going to really bring out a lot of smooth and savory flavors. But it's going to be rich and beefy, but really smooth. It's going to take it to the top. That chicken injection, moist, juicy. There's a lot of great chicken injections out there, but this has never failed me since I first started using it. Taking it from a powdered form to what I have in the bag it's been a tried and true thing, but I love every bit about it, and we use this part in our brine too. So we got a lot of things going on with our products, and that pork injection out there with that piggy bank, oil dust. You just mix all this up. It's going to make one heck of an injection. So, this is going to be like eating dinner at grandma's house on a Sunday afternoon. It's just going to give you all those great pork flavors that you would expect on a good crock pot pork on a Sunday afternoon. Have some onions and carrots, a little bit of potatoes in there. So you're going to see, not in my injection, but you're going to see a lot of those flavors come out. It's really going to pop. So
yeah. Okay, got quite a few questions. Is the marinade on the retail shelves yet?
No. So I have just got. I just received my first batch that I can pass out and just give it to people to try. So there's going to be quite a few people getting a bottle. If one shows up on your doorstep, let us know, taste it, try it, tell me what you think. It's going to be a surprise. I'm not going to tell you who's getting it. I'm not going to tell anybody. It's just going to show up one day, and I expect you to try it, give me your best thought, and then give us a shout out and tell us what you think about it. So I just got it today, and I'm going to start passing out tomorrow.
Okay, cool. Let's see. Somebody asked, do you
About
only
2 months. Probably about 2 months, I'll have it on the shelf.
okay? Do you only use your seasonings in competitions?
I do. Everything that
Okay.
I have on this shelf, all 10 products, I use all 10 of them. I don't use any other seasonings. I don't use any other injections. Everything I try, everything I use in competition is my product and my product only.
Okay. All right. Let's see here. Roddy says if you're not using the Wildcatter as a base, you're missing out. I had never tried it. I may have to incorporate that in. So,
Well, if you're not using that Triple X, the MSG I got as a base, you're missing out.
yeah, Triple X. I have used that in the past. That is some good stuff. So, what's the difference between that and the Wildcatter?
Oh, well, so Wildcatter's a garlic rub, right? It's a savory
Okay.
garlic rub, and my Triple X is just nothing but a corn-based MSG.
Okay.
There's the sodium content is really low, so you're just going to get the pop, and that extra juice of flavor that's going to come out, but you're not going to get salt. There's other MSGs on the market. There's Ajinomoto,
Right.
there's Accent. People use that, but they have salt and sodium in there. It's really high. And so if you go to using that stuff, you can over salt your foods.
Right.
So trying to find a product that can give you that same mouth-watering pop and not be salty is a hard thing to do. But if you find the right products and you take your time, you'll
you can
you'll
use
get
them.
it. So that's what the Triple X is. We use it in everything.
I got you.
It don't take much, but we use it in everything.
Yeah. Hector wants to know you have my address.
I've got his address.
Oh, goodness gracious. Let's see. I'll private message you my address. Man, you got everybody coming out. You done messed up now, Aaron. So, Triple X is a game changer. Let's see. I am a rookie in IBCA Lone Star Circuit. What's your best tip for rookies? All around best tip.
All around best tip. So, I'm going to say that I'm going to give you two, and one is to go judge a contest. If you're going to go out and spend $400, $500, $600 to go cook a contest that you've never cooked in before, I think you're going to look at it. Too much information.
Yeah.
I think if you're going to go cook, you might want to go judge one just to see what it's all about. But number two, take a class.
Yeah.
Don't waste your time trying to figure out 3 or 4 years worth of sitting in your chair and get a call here and there and spend that kind of money. Because if you were to add up over 2 or 3 years of getting started out, and most guys cook 10 or 12 times a year, that's $6,000. You do it 2 or 3 times, you're only spending $12,000, $15,000, $18,000 for a few calls and a couple $100 in your pocket in a day. Go to those guys that are already doing it and just get a class from those guys.
Yeah, Juke, we got some great classes on our barbecue website, barbecuechamps.com. You can go there. You've got some of the absolute top pitmasters in the world. World champ Mark Lambert, Joey Smith, Robert Smith, Lee Hickle. I mean, the list, David Bosca, Corey Mikes, Sterling. Man, who am I missing? We got so dang many of them on there. Craig Sherry. Just some great cooks, and I think you'll have a ton of people on here can attest that we've had so many people that have taken those classes that have just had multiple top 10 finishes and grand champions. So yeah, Scott, right there, classes are worth every penny. There's no doubt.
Well, if you figure it
get
up,
you on the fast track.
$500. For some guys, I'll be honest with you, it takes me $800 to go to a cook-off more than 8 hours away.
Yeah, exactly.
If I walk out and get a big goose egg, then that's $800 I don't get back. And
That's
so
right.
if I can take the $800 and spend that on a well worth it class from somebody who's been there, done that, and is willing to share his tricks, tips, and recipes, to me, it took 2 years to figure that out.
Yeah.
And then I took Clarence Joseph's private class with him, and that changed everything that I did. And once I started that, then it just kind of spawned off, and then I just started, figuring out some things. All you need is a little push.
That's it. Now everybody's wanting to know when we're going to have you on Barbecue Champs Academy. So, Hector, and here comes James. You should have Aaron on your class, and we may have to talk about that. So, anyway, he's got some product. There's no doubt. Well, I tell you what, Aaron, it has been a great hour to spend with you. We've heard quite a bit. You're a great guy, super friend, man. I'm just proud of you for what you've done and what you've accomplished in 5 or 6 years that you've been doing all this stuff. And you're an amazing cook. You're an amazing guy.
Appreciate that.
And your rubs and stuff are just absolutely phenomenal. I have tried them, and they are just absolutely awesome, awesome rubs. So, any final words?
Man, you guys enjoy yourself, have fun. Man, be a great loser. That's one of the best advice I can give anybody. Learn how to lose greatly. Be kind to everybody. Congratulate them. They're working just as hard as you are. So at the end of the day, just have fun. That's what it's all about. You'll never hear me be serious about it. You came, they say, I come to win a cook-off. No, you came to have a good time.
That's it.
Winning is the end result of having a good time. So
that's exactly right.
Just take care of your business.
That's it. That's it. Go out and do the best you can. That's all you can do. Got a lot of folks here. Look, appreciate you being on air. And as always, we always appreciate all of our fans that we have every week, week in and week out. Certainly glad to have you here. Keep watching for us every Tuesday night at 7 o'clock Central Time. We always mix it up with barbecue guys. We'll have steak cookers on here. We try to pick their brain, listen to what's made them successful. Always a lot of knowledge. You can learn from these. And hey, there's nothing better on TV right now than a show like this. We love our fans, and as Aaron just said, barbecue's about family, friends, and loved ones and getting out and having fun. And as we always say in our class, have a lot of fun